Hello and welcome to Eye on Africa on France 24. I'm Fraser Jackson. Here are the stories that are making headlines across the continent tonight. William Ruto spent his first day in charge of Kenya over a month after his election victory. The new president is putting a focus on climate policies and reversing some of his predecessor's actions. In Burkina Faso, the director of a mining company has been found guilty of manslaughter and handed a suspended sentence. It comes 5 months after 8 people were killed when a mine they were working in flooded. And with fish stocks dwindling, local fishermen are adapting traditional techniques and diversifying in order to make a living in northeastern DR Congo. But we begin in Kenya, where just one day after he was sworn in as Kenya's 5th president, William Ruto has put climate policies at the heart of his itinerary and rolled back some policies put in place by his predecessor, Uhuru Kenyatta. Subsidies on food and fuel were set to be scrapped, with Ruto dubbing them costly and ineffective, along with several other items. Well, for more on this, let's cross live to Nairobi, where our correspondent Vivianne Wandera is standing by. Vivianne, thank you for joining us. These policies were part of Ruto's manifesto, so they won't come as any great shock to anybody. But what else has he done on his first day in office?
Well, after his swearing-in that took place on Tuesday at the Moi International Sports Centre, Kasarani, Ruto, during his first day in office as Kenya's 5th president, has sworn in 6 judges, 4 of them to Kenya's Court of Appeal and 2 of them to Kenya's Environmental Court. And these judges were judges that were actually left out by the former president Uhuru Kenyatta when he swore in judges in 2021, and even went ahead to ignore a court order in October of 2021 directing him to swear in the 6 judges. He had refused to swear in, citing that they have integrity issues. But also another issue that came up today during Ruto's first day in office was the diplomatic issue between Morocco, Kenya, and Sahrawi in the Western Sahara. Remember, Kenya recognized Sahrawi as an independent state back in 2005 during the late President Mwai Kibaki's tenure in office. But today, Ruto, through his Twitter account, said that Kenya has decided to end all ties with Sahrawi and also end their presence in the country after a meeting with Morocco's foreign affairs minister. And this move comes after the president of Sahrawi attended Ruto's inauguration yesterday, which was also attended by representatives from Morocco. And it has led to many people asking the question of what is going to happen next and why exactly is Morocco so important to Kenya at this moment. Remember, Kenya's national carrier, that is Kenya Airways, uses the flies through Morocco to New York through their direct flights from Nairobi to New York, which could be one of the reasons that Ruto is looking to keep very good diplomatic ties with Morocco.
And Vivianne, Ruto has made sure that climate policies are at the heart of everything that he's been promoting over the last few weeks, and indeed the last few months. Why is it so important? He says he wants the country to be a leader among African nations when it comes to climate change.
This is important to the president and also to the people of Kenya, because Kenya in Africa is among one of the countries that has really been facing the effects of climate change. Remember that there have been complaints that Africa is suffering from the problems they didn't even create when it comes to climate change. And also there have been calls for the reduction of cutting down of trees, which led to a ban on logging a few years earlier by the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. But also there were calls for when there was supposed to be a coal plant set up in Lamu, Kenya, in the coastal part of Kenya, where people went to court to stop this from happening, saying that this is harmful to the environment. But also the country has seen a very prolonged drought period, where this is the 5th rainy season that we have missed in the country, which has really affected the production of basic food crops like maize and things like rice in the country, which the government had decided to look into other ways of helping farmers to continue to be able to double their yields during the year so that they can combat the effects of the drought. But also this is important to Ruto because as a new president, he needs to set the pace and fulfill the promises that he made to people with things that like food production and increasing local food production and also reducing the prices of food. Majority of the things that we buy in Kenya have doubled. The prices of these things have doubled over the years because most of the food is now imported rather than being produced locally, which has become a burden to many people.
Vivianne, thank you for that update. Vivianne Wandera joining us there live from Nairobi.